Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something fascinating: British culture. I mean, how did this one relatively small island end up having such a huge impact on, well, pretty much everything? The way we play sports, the music we listen to, even the stories we love. Okay, let me ask you something. What do football, James Bond, and the Beatles all have in common? I mean, besides being known literally everywhere on the planet, what's the one thing that ties them all together?
Yep, you got it. They're all British. And honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What we're going to get into today is this kind of unique British genius for creating things, ideas, rules, even characters that just took over the world.
So, where do we start our tour? Let's head to the sports field. Because, so many of the games the entire world is obsessed with, they were basically invented, or at least perfected, right there in Britain. So, what was their secret sauce? Well, it was all about structure. Think about it. Before this, a lot of games were just chaotic local pastimes. What the British did was write down the rules. They codified football, cricket, rugby, tennis, you name it. They turned backyard fun into the organized global sports we know and love today. And football is the perfect example, right? It all started back in the late 1800s with these intense local rivalries. It was all about pride in your hometown club. But the rulebook, the structure, it was so good, so compelling that it just exploded. Now it's the biggest sport on earth. I mean, the English Premier League has fans in every corner of the globe. Then you've got cricket, a game famous for being, well, a little complicated. But its spirit, its code of honor, was so strong that it actually bled into everyday language. You've probably heard the phrase, "it's just not cricket." People say that when something's unfair. That's a sport literally changing how people talk. How cool is that? And this whole legacy, it's built on incredible moments of pure grit and determination. We're talking about legends pushing the limits of what's possible. Think of Sir Roger Bannister, the first person ever to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Or Bobby Moore, captaining England to a World Cup victory. And don't even get me started on Sir Steve Redgrave, winning five consecutive Olympic gold medals. Just astonishing. Okay, so let's leave the stadium behind. We're trading the roar of the crowd for the sound of an amplifier. It's time to check out the UK's global soundtrack. What's amazing about British music is just the sheer range. On one side, you have the Proms, this epic 8-week classical music season that's been a tradition since the 1920s. And on the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got Glastonbury, this huge, muddy, glorious celebration of modern pop and rock. It's like tradition and rebellion are just thriving together. And when it comes to pop music, Britain's influence is just off the charts. Seriously, you have the British invasion in the 60s with the Beatles and the Stones changing everything. Then boom, the late 70s hits and you get the raw, angry energy of punk. Fast forward to the 90s, and you get the slick, polished pop of boy bands and girl bands. Again and again, they just set the trend for the rest of the world to follow. Okay, let's shift gears to a different kind of stage. I want you to think about one specific year, 1952. Because something started in London that year that set a world record. A record so wild, it's kind of hard to believe. See, in 1952, a murder mystery play by Agatha Christie called The Mousetrap opened up, and it never closed. It has been running nonstop ever since. It is, by a mile, the longest-running play in the history of the world. Just goes to show, a great story is timeless. And if you want a taste of something that is just wonderfully, uniquely, and, let's be honest, bizarrely British, you have to talk about the pantomime. It's this Christmas tradition based on a fairy tale, but it's also a musical, a comedy, and here's the key part, it almost always has a man playing the main female role, the dame. It's quirky, it's hilarious, and it's a total institution. All right, for our last stop on this tour, we're going from the stage to the written page. Let's talk about Britain as a nation of incredible storytellers. It seems like British writers have this secret formula for creating characters that the entire planet just becomes obsessed with. Think about it. Sherlock Holmes, the genius detective. James Bond, the world's most famous spy. And of course, Harry Potter. These aren't just characters in books.
They are global phenomena. And this love of a good story isn't just about blockbuster characters. It runs much deeper into a really rich history of poetry. When you read a line like this from William Wordsworth about daffodils, you can feel it, that deep, powerful connection between the land, the weather, and what's going on inside your head. That's a huge part of the British literary soul.
And this isn't just ancient history. The tradition is alive and well. British and Irish writers are constantly getting showered with the biggest awards out there. We're talking Nobel Prizes for legends like Sir William Golding and Seamus Heaney, and the prestigious Booker Prize for modern masters like Hilary Mantel and Ian McEwan. They're still at the top of their game.
Okay, so we've looked at sports, we've looked at music, we've looked at literature. What's the big idea here? What's the one thing that connects all of this? The lasting legacy? I think it really boils down to one thing. The British genius isn't necessarily just inventing stuff out of thin air. It's about creating structures, frameworks that other people can use. The rules of a game, the 3-minute pop song, the template for a hero. They create these incredibly solid foundations that the rest of the world can then build on, play with, and enjoy. So that leaves us with a final, fascinating question to think about. In our crazy, fast-changing world, what's next? What will be Britain's next big cultural gift to all of us? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.